Welcome to another episode of For Footballers Only. I'm Mike Idiokitis.
I'm James Pinay.
And today we have two special guests.
Well, I'm Lucky Leroy Oligie.
And I'm Dipo Mo from Unforeseen Visions.
Yes. So we have two of the brainchilds of Unforeseen Visions. Mm-hmm. And you know, there's a lot to unpack here. But so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get into your football story individually. And, so just tell us how your story began.
No, you go first.
Yeah, sure. It's so funny. My story began, I was born in the States. My parents moved back to Nigeria, of course. My dad and my mom had gotten a job in Lagos, Nigeria. So we moved back to Nigeria. So I did a primary school in Nigeria. I was a primary 5. And everyone has always said I was always outside playing soccer. It was just something that attracted me, something that I love doing. And it's something that I've watched people do and that have motivated me. And when I came back to the States, soccer wasn't that big then. I didn't know about the whole system in the States as far as like, you got to play on a team, you got to pay for this, you got to do that. And at that time, my mom, she was a working class woman and she just didn't have the time or the resources to get me on a team. I knew I wanted to play soccer. I was like 11 or 12 and I told mom, please get me on this team, blah, blah, blah. But she's like, I just can't, I'm working and stuff. So I had to wait to high school. I mean, I didn't know about playing on teams and stuff. So you can kind of tell like your development kind of like drops a little bit because you're not practicing and all that. Yeah. But I could tell you one thing, though, when I went to Bladensburg, man, reality hits. I mean, you saw a bunch of talented players and like you get to that level. And soccer's always been something I love doing. Through soccer, I was able to go to college and get an education. I'm grateful for. I've met so many people, so many networks. Met Leroy through soccer. Obviously, met you guys through soccer. So soccer has given a lot to me, and I'm grateful for that. So
nice.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right.
Damn, I like it, short and sweet.
Yeah.
Mine's a little extensive, so I'm trying to cut it in half. So.
No.
At all.
It's your story, right? Tell your story.
Wow. So I started at the age of 5. I am a PG County native. I went to school, grew up in PG County. Well, DC, PG County, yeah, same thing. I mean, close enough. I went to middle school in PG County, elementary school in PG County. High school, I was supposed to go to High Point. But my mother was like, during those times, like the area wasn't the safest place to go to like a PG County school. And my parents are really big on education. So they're like, you know what? You're going to a Montgomery County school. And I was like, well, all my friends are in PG. I want to go to PG. But they're like, we don't care. You're going to Montgomery County. So I went to Springbrook High School. Where in Springbrook High School, I met a lot of very unique people, but very exceptional people when it comes to culture. The Latin culture, the African culture, the Caribbean culture, all in one pot. Let's put it that way. So, by doing that, I like, on the field, off the field, I'm learning. I'm studying this whole different culture that I'm not used to. In my house, it's Africa. You walk out those doors, it's America. You walk into school, you're like international, like literally traveling day by day. From languages to classes to the way people are to what they like, what they don't like, all that stuff, music, everything, food. You're just like, whoa, In Springbrook High School, I was blessed to make all metropolitan. I came back to PG County to go to PG Community College after I didn't have the best grades, so I ended up I messed up with my scholarship to University of Maryland, went to PG Community College, made All-American there, tried to go back to University of Maryland when I would talk to the coach, Sasha, and I was one semester late to go back to University of Maryland to play soccer. Because I didn't know the whole red shirt rule where there's 4 years plus 1. I didn't know any of that stuff. So I was like, wow. So I ended up going to Bowie State University, getting my degree in communication and business. And then, I'm here. I'm just trying to give back in every way, shape, size, and form.
Nice.
I started at the age of 5. I started in Tacoma Park, going to the the Tacoma Park recreational teams.
Keith Tucker,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
So it started right there. It started long time ago. Red
It's
team,
a small community, I tell you, man.
Yeah.
We all connect. I'm telling you.
Yeah, and then I was fortunate where I had some families that were very interested in my development in soccer. My mom and my dad, they would love to be there and everything, but they didn't have the time because they're working 3-4 jobs. So I didn't have a ride. I didn't have the fees to pay for the trainings, for the travels, even for food. And then you have these families that not just Caucasians, but families as a whole, black, white, whatever. They were like, hey, come on with my kid. And then my mom and my dad was like, Leroy, we don't have this money to do this, so you're gonna go stay home. I'm like, but mom, and then they'll say, Leroy, you coming? And I'm gonna go like, we don't have no money, but I can't say that, so I'm quiet. And they're like, don't worry, I got you, we got you. Don't worry, your parents, okay, Lucky, don't worry, we'll take care of them. And they're like, no, we don't feel right about this, but they're like, just don't worry, he's good. We'll take care of him. And that's how it was, from Tacoma Park to the club teams, to Bethesda teams, to Potomac teams, to Bowie Free State teams, to ODP teams. It just kept going, to traveling overseas to go play in Italy, like everything paid for. Like, it's a long story.
Yeah. No, that's nice. Yeah. That's nice. Okay, so let's.
Let me mention it too. I gotta say this to Leroy. All right, Leroy is a legend. All right, I've played next to him. I mean, he's trying to be humble about it. But I just want to give you your roses, and to you, Mo, too, because you was my teammate. You guys are both legend. But like with Leroy, because Leroy's older than me, right? So how Mo, so it's like, yo, I'm telling you, this is amazing. And we used to play on this team called Juventus. I can't never forget that day.
Really?
Yeah. He did work, right? So I will never forget that day. Like it was playing out the Arab Kid field. I think it was Super Taco or something.
Yep.
Right? This guy came in again. I was like, "Oh, who's this guy right here?" Right? And he's the captain, right?
Wow.
Position, destroying people. I said, "Yo!" So I probably never told you that story, but man, you a legend. So I just
thanks, man. Yeah. We're all legends. I firmly believe it. To be honest, we have
amazing.
Yes,
like you say that we have our own stories. Mm-hmm. We're all legends in my book because we have a different perception of how we did things,
Yeah.
And Juventus was just one of those outlets where I just happened to be captain. Because James, you were captain of all our different teams too, Freeman Eagles, and so it goes back. It goes both ways, One day I'm a captain, next day you're a captain. Mike, next day you're a captain. Dipo's a captain. So it works. That's how it is. We're connected.
Yeah. No, all right. So, Dipo, I want to go back to, you're playing. You said you came here when you were like 11, 12.
Yeah, I was about to turn 11. That's when I came back to the States. Yep.
Okay. And
I'll never forget.
Yeah. So you were playing back home, but you were playing back home, right? So
oh man, I was always playing back home. After school, during school. I mean, my mom used to complain how my jerseys was always dirty. I remember vividly, we were living in a gated community, right? And the kids that are much older than me, 5 years, 6 years, these kids were like in secondary school. We call it secondary school, which is like high school back home. And like, I was still in primary school and they used to knock at my parents' door. Boom, boom, boom. We're not playing until your son comes out. Like, we want your son on our team. Mind you, these kids are like 6-7 years older than me. Yeah. I'm playing with older kids that are stronger, faster, but they always wanted me to play with them. There was like, I just had that passion. I was always playing. So I was always developing. Because I was just always playing. I had such a passion for soccer at such a young age. My aunties, even till today, they're like, yo, I remember you slept, ate, and breathe soccer. Like, and you guys could, attest to this as well. No, I'm sure speaking with you guys. So yeah, that's pretty much how it was.
So when you were in Nigeria, did you have a football idol?
Absolutely. So my football idol, funny enough, was Ronaldo Phenomenal. It's so weird. Like when we were playing in the streets, everybody had this. Like there was a time in I don't know if it was 2001 when he had the little
2002.
Yeah, 2002 when he had the haircut. Yes, everybody wanted that haircut. The way he dressed, how he played on the field. We all used to try to like imitate it on the streets when we were playing street soccer or when we're just playing soccer. I mean, he was special. He was special. He was a special talent. And then when I grew up, the older you get, the more you understand the game better, and then the more you pick things from great players, like what they do. You're like, oh man, I love that turn. I need to work on that. The fact that he just turned his head to see who was behind him. That's a skill itself. That's awareness, right? So you pick things from different attributes, different plays, and you try to like combine that to make who you are. So
nice.
While you're playing, so
yeah. Okay. So Leroy, I'm gonna ask you the same thing. Did you have a football legend? I mean, a football idol when you were younger?
So it's funny because in an African Nigerian household, everyone's watching football, and they're watching their own countries in particular. So ours, everybody knows who JJ Okocha.
Yeah,
JJ. Oh, the step over. And that was it. But after watching like game after game, tournament after tournament, it was more like Romario, that duel, that connection between them two, to Dunga, the captain of Brazil at that time, to Roberto Carlos, the left back, to Maldini, to so that set right there was like everything for me. And then Zidane.
Nice.
You make right now, man.
That's me.
You just gotta go right to the question, but
Okay, so let's just get right into the question. So this is a question we ask everybody, and the fact is, you guys are footballers, so you're gonna get hate mail for no matter what you say. You know what I mean? Like, there's no right answer, but it's your answer, right? The question is, who's in your top 11 greatest footballers of all time? And this is your list. It could be all Brazilians. It could be all left backs. It could be all forwards.
Any kind of order.
Any kind of order is your list. So each person, let me know who's gonna go first, and then I'll help you count with my fingers.
Sure. And does it have to be specific position or just
no? It can be any. It can be all forwards.
Okay.
It can be all left backs. It can be all whatever you want to do.
Okay. Yeah, I can go first.
All right, let's go.
So I'll start. I was 6 years old. I'll never forget 1996 Olympics, USA Olympics. There was no rules on the road. I mean, everybody was watching the game. Nigeria versus Brazil. Nigeria's playing, and when we finally won, it was amazing. And we had a song, but I'll still go back to that. What he did. Just the name of Ronaldo back then, like what he was capable of doing. So he's definitely number one on my list. Like, I'll definitely put that. I'll put that on my list. Oh, this is such a tough, it's a tough one because there's so many great players and everybody had their own style, but everybody brought something to the table. Wow. I didn't realize how hard this would be, but Zidane was special, of course. Henry, because I'm a Gunners. I'm a Gunners for life, but what Henry did for Arsenal, amazing. Roberto Carlos. I mean, I still can't believe how he was able to bend the ball. So that one for a fact, Roberto Carlos. I would say, so that's what, 4?
Yeah, 4.
Wow, only 4. Del Piero, funny enough.
Okay.
Wow.
Del Piero was a beast.
Yeah.
What? Del Piero, yes. I watched him, and that man did some amazing things. So Del Piero, that's 5. Who else inspired me growing up? Patrick Vieira. That's 6. Patrick Vieira. And of course, Xavi, Iniesta. And if I say current, Messi definitely. Messi.
Two more.
Oh, one more. Two more. All right. So Messi. Wow.
Tough list.
That's a tough list.
It's a really hard list. I'm like, what?
I was gonna say Cafu, but I would have to go Cafu too. But Dani Alves. Dani Alves changed the right back position. Because he could. Dani Alves, if you guys didn't realize, he could also play midfield really well. He made it look easy. for right back. So definitely Dani Alves and of course Samuel Eto'o. I had to go with my boy Samuel Eto'o, man.
That's a tough list. That's a tough list.
Yo, this is tough.
Ronaldinho, what's going on?
No. You can't say it. He has to go. He has to go.
No, I didn't even say Ronaldo. It's so many good players.
It's always
has to go.
Only one person.
Yeah, when he goes, then we'll get into all the people that was left off the list.
Yeah. I would. I'll start with Sergio Ramos.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I'll start with Puyol.
Okay.
The reason why they're captains, their heart. You know, that's what the heart in the captains is what keeps the team going.
That's true.
I will go with JJ Okocha, of course, the flair.
Okay.
I'll go with Ronaldinho, the flair as well. I'll go with Zidane. I'll go with Marcelo.
Okay.
I'll go with Roberto Carlos. That's my man, like left back, right back, you know. Yeah. Ronaldo, the real Ronaldo. Phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah, the real Ronaldo.
Yeah. I'll go with Romario. It's always been Romario. Me and Romario have this connection. And then last but not
two more.
I need a keeper. That's the hardest thing everyone needs.
Yeah. That's true.
Oh man. Damn. I'll go with Czech.
Okay.
Peter Czech.
Oh yeah, he's solid. He's solid.
And then I'll go with believe it or not, Beckham.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. Bennett like Beckham.
It's like the first time.
I know.
Yeah.
Beckham makes his list.
And the reason why, because he gets the job done. And he may be known for maybe one or two things, free kicks and crossing, but he gets the job done. He don't play around.
Consistent too.
Consistent. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
It's true.
Wow.
Those are two interesting lists, I must say.
Yeah.
You know, it's but I'm sure you're gonna get some calls and
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? Like
why didn't I include Ronaldinho?
Yeah, you didn't include
Messi,
Messi.
Yeah,
Maradona,
the thing would be that the old players.
That's true.
I'm a firm believer in the old school football.
Yeah.
You know,
really?
Let's get the job done. You know, I know the flair and everything's cool. That's why I put Ronaldinho there. JJ Okocha, cool, but I like to get things done. I don't like playing around. Let's just win. You know, and we need to dig deep. Let's get it in.
Yeah.
What about Davies for your position? I think you put
Edgar Davies. Yeah, that's true. He is solid.
Oh, that is true. I forgot about him.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, that's your position right there.
Yeah, that's my man, Davies.
Even Seedorf.
I just said Seedorf. Yeah.
Seedorf, what? That man was solid.
Yeah.
I even put my man Maldini in there, you know?
Yeah. No, I mean, it's, you know, the thing is, that's the beauty of the game, right? It's like, it spans, you know, decades, even centuries. And so if you're a true student in the game, you have a lot to pick from.
Yes.
And, you know, like your list it evolves, you know, like, because there's going to be, you know, I mean, there are probably 2 or 3 players in this generation that could be, you know, generational players as well that we could add to our list. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, neither one of you guys named Cruyff, right?
Cruyff,
right.
You know, like, so, I mean, but that's the beauty of it. And, you know, the conversation keeps going. And as we you know, we talk football, but those are great solid lists though.
I have a question for both of you guys.
Yeah, definitely.
So especially growing up, right? I know you guys hype, especially growing up in Nigeria, for you, Mo, and then Leroy and PG Connie, at that early age, right? What inspired you guys to keep playing? Because I mean, you have like an auto or whatnot, but what kept you going? What inspired? Is it someone like, I don't know, like, is it something that you saw another kid did? Because I know you can watch stuff on TV, but what kept you going to keep playing?
Yeah. Ali, you want to start with this one?
Yeah. I think the challenge is what kept me going. It's almost like, not to be funny, but, you know, men, they like challenge. You know, they like to raise, you know, the outlook on something that people say you can't do and you get it accomplished. That's like the biggest successful story you can have. You know, and by me back then, you know, a lot of times, James, you can attest to it. A lot of us Black kids of color, you know, it's kind of hard for us to make it in another, I want to say, realm of game, like, you know, to go play it with the Bethesda teams, or to go play with the Potomac teams, or to go play with like highly elite known teams, you know. And it's not because we're not good enough, it's just that we just didn't have the resources.
Yeah.
You know, and I was blessed where I got that part done. Mm-hmm. It's not by my heart, it's not by my own work, it wasn't by my parents. It was just, I was just blessed to have people that were like, you know what, we like what you're doing, we like the way you play, the way you interact with our kids, we'll take you under our wing, and we see the talent you have, and we'll invest in you too. Yeah. You see, and that's what really kept me going, because many times I was like, I can't do this no more, because you know, you'll have people talk a lot of smack about you being a kid of color in PG County. You even have some of those kids that are pretty wealthy. They'll look at you like, dude, you're not even on our level. You know, you can't. And whereas I'm probably better than them, but they're looking at us like, you know, you don't have what we have, you know, and it takes a special individual and a special group of people to, most especially, it takes God, really, in my case, to stay sane and to keep going, because you can be really easily distracted, one, or discouraged too. Yep. You know, so it's not easy. And just seeing yourself advance through all the trials and tribulations is like extra. You're like, whoa, I actually did this. Oh, wow. You know? Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's true.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's deep. That was good. Similar to yours, really. I've always had a passion for it. I just loved it. I've always loved it at a young age. And what kept me going was really, I mean, you basically nailed it. It was, you know, I had one opportunity to play on a travel team one year in high school, and I played for Free State Diamondbacks. This is a U17 team. I think I was like 16. The kids were like 1 year older than me majority of the time, but they needed spots. So I filled in the spots. I tried out. I made the team. It was coached by Herb Gainey at the time. He was coaching at St. Mary's University, which is down in Southern Maryland. And a lot of the kids he was recruiting a lot of my teammates to go there anyway. I realized that obviously my mom couldn't afford, it was a travel team. We'll go to North Carolina, play on a tournament. I would need somewhere to stay. But I was fortunate. I was lucky. Some of my teammates were like, yo, don't worry, we got you. You know, come with me and we'll pay for everything. And I was just so grateful for that. And even though there were trials, there were times where I felt really bad. I felt really lonely. I was like, yo, I hope I'm not, you know, disturbing anybody, because I'm not really paying. I can't afford to do this, or I can't afford to do that. But the passion kept me going. And the fact that someone said, oh, you're not, I'll never forget. We had a talk, and the coach was like, you know, like, what, you know, who in here think they can go play a D2 or D1 or whatever. And me, I'm be honest with you guys, like, I've always had that self-confidence, even though I might have not been the most talented kid, but like, I've always had that self-confidence because I knew I had so much passion for it. And I was like, yeah, coach, like I think I'm one of those guys. And the coach is like, Mo, I'll be honest with you, not right now. Your level, you know,
wow. That is crazy.
And that was fire. That was fire for me, believe it or not. I needed that. I needed somebody to tell me that. I needed someone to put a little fire in me, believe it or not. And that really put fire in me, and that really motivated me to continue on. And you know, I was grateful for that. So yeah.
That is, I mean, you know, one of the things we talked about probably even before it started recording was, you know, the fact that you guys were extremely talented.
Yeah.
But you didn't have either the coaching staff or the resources to, you know, get pushed in the right direction.
Yeah.
And I wonder how much of that has changed. You know what I mean? Like, even though it's been, I don't know, 15, 20, 10 or whatever years,
Yeah.
How much of it has changed? Is it the same situation where, you know, the kids from that neighborhood or from that school are still not getting these opportunities, and then, you know, other kids are getting all the opportunities, but the talent, you know, the talent gap is still there. And so, you know, even to your point about like you wanting to play D2, and the coach saying you don't even have that. You don't even have that. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Because the coach should be your advocate, especially if you're, you know, you're a young kid in high school, whatever, and you're on the team, and you're motivated enough to even stand up and say, you know, I want to do that. I would think the coach would be the other way around, saying, huh, okay. So how can we make this happen?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As opposed to say, no, like, especially in a large group where everybody else is there. Then of course, you know, you're gonna have the teammate that's hating and go on and say something crazy. But yeah, man. I mean, so anyway, I'm sure we're gonna get into that aspect on how, you know, some of the work you guys are doing is helping to mitigate.
Before I forget, I can never ever forget this. This is the one thing that really put me where I am today when it comes to soccer, and it's my coach, Sona Wala. Sona Wala is a Cameroonian coach of mine that we travel overseas to play. I've had many.
Sona, by the way.
Sona, yeah. He taught me when I say taught me football, and taught me football in a way that no coach know how to teach a kid. I could tell you at a young age.
Yeah.
Wow. He makes things very relevant to how you're living your life outside the soccer field, and he breaks down the game technically, tactically, physically, mentally, the 4 parts of the game. That's what it is, you know. So it's like second nature. That, you know, what are the 4 parts of the game? Technical, tactical, physical, mental. You know, he has like certain things that it's like you're in an academy. Every day you're eating this, you're drinking this. This is what you know. This is what it is. And if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't be. Of course, him and God, definitely God. But if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't be as far as I am in the game. So he changed everything for me.
Yeah. First thing is, does he know this?
I think he does, deep down inside, you know, because we're a product of him, you know. Yeah. So, you know, when you're a product of something, meaning like if you coach someone, you help someone along the way, people like to say, oh, well, that used to be my student. That used to be my guy, you know, that used to be my, but he knows.
Yeah. No. So the one reason I'm asking, because we've had multiple episodes about this. Who did you develop? Right. And you know, one of the questions is like, one, how do you take credit for someone you develop? Is it because they train with you for 1 year, 1 season, you know, since they were a kid? Did they start with you? Like, that's a whole thing. But since you are clearly, like, you as a product, you clearly know that who you're attributing your development to is Sona. I think let's just take a moment. I just want you to give him his flowers right here. Who knows? I mean, actually, we know so like Sona is part of
personally.
Like he's part of the, you know, he's part of the crew. So he's probably, this might reach him. And so, you know, let him get his flowers. So go ahead and
Sona,
flowers. Yeah.
You know, you taught us everything from the game, you know, on the field, off the field. You know, you've not done it just with me, but you've done it consistently, you know, through 11 plus players, my same age group, my same team. These are guys that played Division 1. These are guys that played ODP with me. These are guys that played mid regional. These are people that went national. These are people that went even professional. So that alone, from elementary, middle school, high school, college, semi-pro, pro. What I mean, how else can I say it? Is that means you're doing something right? It's not just like by me only. Like, there's different products of people that I've seen verbatim, side by side, and they've made it this far. Me, I mean, I've made it far, but I also had many injuries, and I still, with injuries, I still played even good because of what I've learned at a young age. You know, people my age right now, or people that were in my shoes, they can't do what I did because of the different surgeries and injuries I've had, and still playing. You know, it shows for itself. Yeah. That, you know, you know what you're doing, and your passion went far with us, you know, and we carried it to heart.
Nice.
You usually see Sona at the gym at LA Fitness. I'm gonna make sure I have this on my phone.
You say you usually see him?
I usually see it Silver Spring.
Nice.
I'm gonna make sure I play. Oh, I'm gonna tell you to listen.
Yeah.
But you're right, Leroy. Sona, I think the guy IQ of the game is amazing. So
amazingly high.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. So go on.
Sorry, but it's also crazy because I want to let people know, like, Africans, we are known for what? We're fast. We're strong. We have a lot of skill. But it's very few that you see that, oh, he could shoot two and score, or he can do this tactically and make this overlapping run and understand the game. Very few.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? But Sona taught us all of that.
Thanks.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? So
okay. So this interview might here's the thing. This interview might end up being like a 6-hour thing. So, because the reason is because you just brought up something that James already know. As you were saying that James already know, he's like, Mike head is going crazy right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So before I even get into what you just said, I want to, give Sona his flowers, on behalf of you and, your whole cohort of players, definitely. Sona, like we appreciate all the work you've done.
Oh yeah.
Continue to do. And you definitely need to be acknowledged as, one of the gifts to the game, especially in the DMV area. And we're going to do what I keep calling a Legends podcast. You, Keith Tucker, like we've already had a few of the legends, but we'll continue to have everybody on like a panel, so you guys can really drop some gems for the young folks. Okay. With that said, what you just said is African players or Black players in particular are known for speed, of being fast and strong, and rarely the the technical, like the skill and decision making, holding the middle, and passing and all this kind of stuff. Okay, it's so here's the reality of what, and I'm sure we all have this experience.
Yeah.
Is this, and the question I'm going to ask to you two is this a product of nature or nurture?
No, this is okay. So I'm gonna start with that because this is so funny you brought this up because we were just watching the AFCON and I literally made a joke. I was like, yo, I'm gonna start an academy in Africa where it's just gonna be like, I'm not gonna worry about speed tests. We're not focusing on that because we know we all have that. We're just gonna focus on set pieces, how to technically shoot the ball, how to take free kicks, goalkeeper training. Like, it was a joke, but it's true. Like, and I think it's nurturing because so I was fortunate enough after college, through a friend of mine, my friend's name is Uche. He had attended Bolton International Academy when he was 18, and in the UK, and he had met some contacts, met some friends. And one of his friends, his dad happened to be a director of a German football club in Germany, right outside of Frankfurt, called Bad Wibbel. Hessen is the state. Bad Wibbel. Dorteval is actually the name of the football club. So I was fortunate enough, me and him, we were able to play in Germany for 3 months, right? Those 3 months were probably one of the best 3 months of my life when it comes to football. Right? When it comes to understanding football, when it comes to just seeing the structure of football. When I mean structure, I mean structure. Like, I mean, every little town had a football club, and every town is connected. Like this, the community is connected to that football club, so they're able to sponsor the teams. And during the weekends, everybody stops whatever they're doing to go watch that football club play. Whether it's an hour drive, guess what? We're driving to go watch our team play. Or if it's a home game, we're leaving our little mom and pop stores and our little businesses, local business, to come watch the team play. And it's amazing, the atmosphere, the development, because those little football clubs, you're developing your skill, you're developing the football education, or you're teaching about weightlifting, they're teaching about diet, they're teaching you all these things. about football. Technical Fridays was just technique. All we worked on was shooting, free kicks. So we're owning our techniques. Wednesday was a different kind of drill. So it's like it's different aspects of the game that you're working on. But what I found out was the structure was great. There was already a structure in place, and that's the challenging part, right? For African players, for African footballers, because a lot of us are playing. To even find a team that would even train you Monday through Friday is difficult, yet alone finding a structured team and what they're focusing on. To even have like a playing ground of where they're practicing is even hard. Like how many teams in Africa are actually playing on like a nice field where like the ball is not bouncing. You pass somebody a ball and the ball is not bouncing. Or he's trying to shoot the ball and then the ball just skyrockets because the field alone is tough. It's a challenge. So these are all these little important pieces that I feel personally that are affecting the African game, right? The structure is very important. I mean, in Germany, I keep going back to Germany because I was so amazed. Like every little town had a team, and every team is registered under DFB, which is Deutsch. It's like the Deutschland Football Association. There's up to like Division 11. You can be like a 30-year-old working and still be playing football because there's different divisions. And if you're young and you're talented, guess what? You guys are playing an Open Cup on a weekday. You play in a Division 5 that's playing in the Open Cup, and you happen to ball on. They happen to like you. They can buy your rights and say, okay, we want this kid now because we see a potential in him. So it's so structured that the development is consistent, is everlasting. It's like you're always developing, and I was really amazed by that. So I think it comes down to nurture. It comes down to structure for me personally. The structure is important, man. When you have a strong foundation, everything else will fall into place. Yeah.
Mine is a little short and sweet. I mean, D, you hit it on the nose when it said nurture, but I believe it's both.
Okay.
I think the nurture part, you covered it very well. I think you said nurture versus natural, right?
Nature.
Yep.
It's only nature where, you know, we've been put in, I think us as Black African Americans, we've been put in a box of we're only capable of doing this, and that's what it is. You know, from different sports to everything. Oh, he's fast, he's strong. Okay, he's Black. Not to be funny, you know, but there's a lot more to us in there. And I think it takes where it goes into nurture a little bit. It takes a certain person that has already witnessed all that and take all that they witnessed and tell the kid and say, hey, you know, you can do more. Try it this way. Try it that way. You know, once again, that's what Sona did for us. You know, Sona took us to Italy for the first time. We're the only team that was known at that time to go to Italy. Only. Now everyone's going to Italy. Everyone's going overseas. Every team is going somewhere during the summer for a training, but we were the first to do that. Being sponsored by Nike, AT&T, being on TV for all this stuff. And then we get to Italy, and we're like, oh, we're worried, right? But when we get to the pitch, we get to the academy of AC Milan, they're doing everything that we've been doing at practice. Everything. But the only difference is that they do it all day, every day. We do it Tuesday, Thursday for 3 hours.
Facts.
You know, then we do it and we play games on the weekend, and they doing this every day.
Yeah.
Just like dancing, it's muscle memory.
Yeah.
You know, there's not a right way to dance, but if you keep doing it every day, muscle memory, just like soccer, it works.
Yep.
100%.
And that's the advantage that they have over us, you know. But it's just sad that, you know, us being African Americans, that, you know, they look at us, oh, he's tall, he look like he could play center mid, but when it gets down to it, just because he's tall and buff don't mean he could play center mid.
Yeah.
You know,
that's true.
And it happens all the time. Oh, he's tall, he's a striker. Oh no, actually no, he's tall, he's a center back. Really?
So
yeah.
No, okay. So the reason I asked is because this is an ongoing debate. This is part of the reason I want people to kind of get a view into the conversation as it pertains to this. So the ongoing debate is that you know, Black players are put in certain roles because of this is some, you know, what you pointed out, right? The speed and the strength. And this is not a you to make sure people don't get uncomfortable about this.
Yeah.
It's not a racist thing.
No, it's not.
It's something is subconscious prejudice that's reinforced by everyone, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just, like an old white guy that's doing this.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a young black coach,
guy. Yeah.
a young black coach that's doing this, etc.
Or even parents.
Yeah, and
definitely.
Even more so.
Yeah.
Even more so. Parents is like, oh, so and so is fast, etc. And what happens to the detriment of the kid is that the kid is put in this role, and this becomes a crutch, right? So if you're fast, we put you on the wing, you just run up and down. Like, let's not focus on any, technical, like, et cetera, et cetera. And that works when you're 12, when you're 9 to like 15.
Right.
Puberty hits. Everybody gets fast. Right? So 16, 17, everybody, at that time, everybody's gonna now. So now the thing that made you special, you were ODP, you were national pool or whatever it is, you run down the wing or you're the center back because you hit your growth spurt a lot earlier than everybody else. So you're tall and big. Now everybody else got tall and big. Everybody else is fast, but everybody else was also working on their technical skill, learning how to hold the ball in the middle, read the field, scan, understand the overlapping run that's being made and how to play the position, handling pressure, all that stuff. You as a player never worked on any of that. And that feedback loop actually hurt you your whole development process. So you're 16. Some players get discouraged and lose the game completely.
And stop. Yeah, that's
right.
True.
Other players realize, oh, well, this is now I have an uphill battle. But there was those very important developmental years from like 9 to 15 that you didn't massage that muscle memory.
Yeah.
So now you have an extreme weak foot. You can't even tap the ball with your other foot. Like it's completely impossible. And right. So this is something that like we all need to address, especially in programs that cater to a wide population. Like the reality is like we need to develop, anyone who's listening to this and you run a program that say you're developing players, et cetera, develop a total footballer. Regardless if they're white.
Yes, right.
Japanese, Nigerian, Jamaican.
Yep.
Right. Develop a total footballer. The kid should be extremely comfortable on the ball with both feet.
Both feet, key.
Both feet.
They should have game IQ, have a tactical understanding of positioning, etc. So it's not just their physical attributes is going to enhance
by itself
those things.
Yep.
But if you only, focus on their physical attributes, he's tall or he's fast. Let's put him up. He has a heavy foot. Let's put him up top and you bang the ball, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like, it's you're selling the kid short. I know you're gonna win right now, right? So that's the other part of this. I understand from a lot of program standpoint, is the incentives are perverse, right? Because the coaches need to win right now.
Yeah. Right.
In a lot of programs, the coaches need to win right now. They can't wait to develop. Yeah. It sounds good. We're developing, but we need to win right now.
Wow.
Right. So I get it, but we're selling, if the football development community was selling kids short if we don't sacrifice some of the short-term wins now for this kid's long-term development.
Yeah.
So I just I had to say that because this is something we constantly talk about.
That's true.
No, that's big. That's very important.
I wanted to add on too, right?
Very important.
With the nature and nurture stuff, right? I think when Lyra's point is true, right? It's both, right? I think when it comes to nature, it's important. Like the environment is important, right? You need support, right? And how Lyra said, Sona was probably one of the people that actually I don't know his story, but maybe he went through that story. I mean, that experience and then he went back to Leroy and them, and then actually trying to switch it around, right? Because it's important that your environment can always affect you, like more with the African players, right? Maybe those people that's in the federation, those coaches here at end, they don't have those IQ of those guys in Germany, right? Yeah. So it's like they're just always going to promote what they know.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then even like when we moved here to PG Cardio, we'll play all those African League, all those guys, they didn't know anything about getting you into like a club team. They didn't know that. So
they didn't know that.
Come to us and play with us. They just wanted to play, but in their mind, it was actually helping us. But that's all they knew, right? I guarantee you. So if in the African Federation or where we from or anywhere else, if someone understand the mean really reason how those people in Germany know, I guarantee you they will do it. So I think it takes both parties, like the nature part and what was it? And the nurture part.
Nurture.
That's true. I agree.
It's important.
Yeah. No, I mean, we might actually have a full panel podcast just on that discussion, because I think it is something that, I've written about this, talk about this, etc., which is what I call the destruction of talent. Yeah. And it's one of the big issues, right? So like, any coach you talk to, they're gonna rave about, oh yeah, I developed this player, developed that player, etc. Yeah. They never say I destroyed this player, I destroyed that player. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that is the mean metric.
It's both sides,
yeah. That's the mean metric.
That is so true,
right? Because if you have the ego to take full responsibility for developing somebody, and not it's different if somebody else say, like what you're saying, Leroy, about Sona, right? That's different. But if Sona comes in, I developed, that's a different. So if you have that ego, you should also have the awareness that in that process of me taking credit for Leroy, I destroyed Dipo or I destroyed James. You know what I mean? Like, and we were just talking about this today, I think, James, the fact that there's so many players, especially young Black players, extremely talented. They're not going to play. They're not pursuing playing in college. They're done. The high school, like literally the club in high school career has killed all joy, everything for the game. Like they're not interested. They don't even want to be involved in it anymore.
Right.
I mean, like people who were like, you could be generational players when they were younger, right? Everybody was looking at them like, oh, this person could be it. They're done. And so this is something like we really need to address. Like it is like we can't just keep going on, because what you're gonna end up having is you're gonna have like a whole generation of extremely frustrated people that end up, having negative feelings towards the sport, but it's not really the sport. It's a couple of bad apples that were focused on the wrong things at the wrong time. So I mean, it's something I think we should have more discussion about, more awareness. People, get it out there. They're going to be, in that process, I think there'll be better ideas on how to address this. So we don't have future generations facing the same craziness.
Yeah.